Hello friends, welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm going to discuss about HashMap. Okay, it means that how you can create a HashMap and some methods of HashMap like putIfAbsent, putAll, getOrDefault. Okay, so let's get started. So at first, let's see how we can create a HashMap. So to create a HashMap, at first you have to import the HashMap class from util package. Okay, so let's do that first. Import java util to star. Star means you are importing all the classes. Okay, but also you can specify hashmap here. Okay, if you are specifying a hashmap, it means that you are only importing the hashmap class. Okay, I think it's clear. So now you can easily create the hashmap. Okay, so now let's see how we can create a hashmap. So to create a hashmap, you have to specify two data types. First data type for key field and second data type for values field. Okay, so in the key field values must be unique, and in the values field we will store the values according to the key field, right? So suppose I want to create a hashmap and the key field must be string type data, and in the values field I will store integer type data. Okay, so at first you have to specify the data type of key field. Okay, as I have told you, I will create a hashmap and in the key field I will store the string type data, and in the values field I will store integer type data. So at first you have to specify the key field data type and then you have to specify values field data type. Okay, right? So next what we will do, we will now take one reference and then we will create the object of hashmap. Okay, so now also you can not write this thing also. Okay, it will be okay. So yeah, that's all about how you can create a hashmap, right? So this is all about how you can create an object of hashmap. And what is the reference? Reference is HM. Okay, so yeah, that's all about how you can create a hashmap. So now let's see how we can add the values in a hashmap. Like in my previous videos where I was discussing list, set, I have told you have to use add or add-all method to add the element in a list or in a set, right? The same way, if you want to add values in a hash map, in that case you have to use put method. Okay, you can use put method or putAll method also you have, but there you have some more method also like putIfAbsent, right? So I will discuss all that method in this video, don't worry about it. So let's see first put method. Okay, obviously put is the simplest method. So how we can use put method, let's see. hm.put, then you have to specify the key value. Suppose I am storing a, okay, any random value you can take obviously, and then you have to specify the integer value, because integer value is our value field. Means in the value field we are storing integer type values, right? So suppose I am storing 1, it means that for a key value you have 1. Okay, in the same way I can add some more elements also. So you can also add some more elements based on your choice. So I am adding simplest one, like here I will add a b c d, so you can skip this part. Suppose I have this element in my hash map. Okay, so let's see how this hash map looks like. Okay, so to do that we can simply print this hash map. Okay, so if I just run it, then you can see this is the element we have. So a b c d are the keys and 1 2 3 4 are the values. So here although I am using unique values, but you can repeat these values as well. Means it's also possible that your values are same, it is totally fine, but keys must be unique. Like here I can obviously I can store again 4, and yeah, it will not make you any trouble, but the thing is keys must be unique. Okay, so yeah, this is all about how you can add the element in a hash bar using put method. Okay, but like in the same way, if you add the same field again, like suppose I am again adding a, okay, and now your value is 5, right? So in that case you can see now your value will change for uh, a field. Okay, now your a field means for a key value you have 5. Okay, means your value has changed. But if you don't want to change the value that is already present in your hash map, in that case, you know what you can use? In that case, you can use put if absent. Okay, you have this method in that. So in this case, this method will add only this 5 value if this a field is not present previously. But as you can see, this a field is already present. You have already added the value 1. In that case, it will not add this 5 for a field. So now let's run this code. So as you can see, now this is not adding the 5 for a field, right? So I think it's clear. So obvious kind of methods are very useful while you want to add the elements based on some conditions, right? So in that case, you can definitely use put if absent. So our next method is put all method. Okay, put all method works same as add all method. Like in add all method, we use to add the collection in a hash map, and in the same way, we can use put all method to add another hash map into a particular hash map. Okay, so for that we can create another hash map. So as you can see, I have created another hash map. Okay, and in the key field is the string type and the value field is an integer type. So now let's add this hash map into this previously created hash map. Okay, so in that case, obviously you can use put all method. Okay, hm dot put all. Okay, h, right? So now if you just print this hash map, then you can see now these two entries is also added in your HM hash map. Okay, but suppose you are adding the same element, like for a you are again adding. In that case, you can see the value for a field is changed. Now this value is 10 instead of 1, right? Okay, suppose here I am also adding y, but this y is not present previously, means in a previous hash map, right? So that's why while you are adding this y, whatever value you are specifying, that is totally fine because this field is not present. So in that case, it will simply add that particular field. Okay, so yeah, and if you are adding the same key field and with a different value, it will just override that value. Okay, I think it's clear. So, and if you have any doubt, you can definitely ask me in the comment section. So moving on, let's see our next method is getOrDefault. Okay, hm dot get or default. So basically, getOrDefault method will give you the value for that particular field. Okay, otherwise it will give you the default value that you are specifying. Suppose here I am specifying here 0. Okay, and here you have to specify any value like C. Okay, okay, this is string type, right? So now if you store this value, okay, this method will give you the value respect to the key that you are specifying, right? And what is the data type of your value field is integer. So it means that obviously this getOrDefault method will give you an integer type value, and obviously you can store that value in an integer type variable and simply you can print that value. Okay, n. And if I just run it, then you can see it will give you 3 because you have this field, right? And what is the value for C is 3. Suppose I am searching for a key and that key is not present. Like suppose I have S. Okay, obviously S is not added in this HM hash map. Okay, this is our hash map, right? This is our hash map. So as you can see, this S is not present in our hash map, right? So if I just run it, then you can see it will give you the default value. Okay, here you are specifying the default value that this method will give you if that particular uh, key field is not present. Okay, so as you can see here, I am specifying here 0 as a default value. If any particular key that I am mentioning is not present, then give me this default value. So if now I just run it, then you can see it will give you simply 0. Okay, so this method is very useful while you are calculating the number of the occurrences of one list of numbers, right? Because in that case, like suppose, okay, let me take one example. Like I have this ARR, okay, and then I have the values like 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 3 comma 3 comma 1. Okay, so as you can see, all the elements are occurs only one time, but this 3 is occurring two times, right? So in that case, if you create one hash map, okay, hash map, okay, and in the key field I will add integer type, means key field I will add integer type, and in the value field will be integer, because in the key field I will store the values, and obviously array values are integer type. Okay, and number of the occurrences I will calculate, and obviously number of the occurrences will be integer type, or you can also take long type, but suppose I am taking here integer type. Okay, and then I am taking specify the reference, and then you have to create the hash map. Okay, so obviously you can remove this one, this is not necessary, but also you can specify, total depend on you. So now if you are like, now if you are just traversing this ARR, you can see here I am using for each loop or enhanced for loop. Okay, and then b dot put, then you have to specify the key. So as I have told you that in the key field I will store the array elements, and array elements are the integer type. So I will store integer type data, or better you can say I will store the array elements. So what is the array elements? Integer type. So I will store, and here what you know what you can do here, you can use getOrDefault method. So obviously you can use a getOrDefault method. So now you have to specify the key, and key is the array elements, and array elements in integer type data. So you have to specify. So and then you have to specify the default value, like as I've mentioned that in this getOrDefault value, as per you have to specify the key field, and then you have to specify the default value. Okay, so here your default value is 0, and then plus 1. Okay, so if I just run it, then you can see okay, if you run, then you will not get any answer because I'm not printing this hash map. So now if you just run it, then you can see it will simply give you the value and corresponding with the number of the occurrences. Okay, so how this getOrDefault will give you this kind of result? Basically it will checking for each and every element. Like your first element is 6, right? While I am adding this 6 into my hash map, then what I am doing, basically this getOrDefault method will give you the value corresponding to that particular key, but this first element 6 is not present in our hash map, right? So in that case it will simply return this default value. And what is the default value? Default value is 0, and we are adding 0 plus 1. Okay, it means that in your particular hash map for 6 you are adding 6. Okay, because you are adding plus 1 which is default value. Okay, so for 6 you have 1. Okay, the same way for 7, this 7 is not present in our hash map. Okay, so this case or default value will give you this default value 0 and we'll just add plus 1. So for 7 we also have 1. Okay, the same way for 8 we will get what? For 8 we will get again 1, right? Because this 8 is not present in our hash map. So our next element is 3. So while you are adding this 3 for the first time, this 3 was 3 we will add 1. But you know what, for the second time when you are getting again 3, then this get or default method will not give you this 0, because you have already some value, for that particular field. For 3 you have already stored 1, so in that case this get or default method will give you this particular 1, and then we will add plus 1, because we are adding plus 1, right? So we will add plus 1 with that particular value, means a value this get or default method will give us, and we will add plus 1 and this will become 2, and this 2 we will add in our hash map. So we will, and obviously we are using put method, not put if absent, so obviously it will override that value. Okay, so our next is 1, and obviously 1 is not present, so we will simply add this 1, and in the value field we also add 1. Okay, which number of the occurrence of 1 is only 1, right? And for the first time when you are checking this get or default, this get or default measure will obviously give me 0, and we will just add plus 1. So it means that in a hash map we will add 1 for key field, and also in the value field we will add 1. Okay, so as a result you are getting this kind of result. Okay, and also you know what, the sequence can be different. Okay, it is not depend on you. So yeah, all about get or default, I think it's totally clear. Means in a default measure you are specifying two parameter. First parameter is the key value, and the second parameter you are specifying the default value. For this case is S is not present, then what this measure will give me? Then this measure will give me this default value. This default value can be anything. Okay, anything, this is default value is possible. Okay, and obviously you have to mention your integer type, because your value field is integer type. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to remember, because you are specifying an integer type value, so in the default field you can specify any kind of integer value. Okay, I think it's clear. So yeah, if you have any doubts you can definitely ask me, so I will definitely answer all of your questions, so don't worry about it. So moving on, so this is our last method, and the last method is size method, and obviously used to calculate the number of the elements that are present in a particular hash map, right? So suppose, let's see, okay, suppose this is our hash map, right? This is our HM hash map that I have printed before. So as you can see, what are the entries we have? 1 2 3 4 5. So we have total 5 entries, right? So if you just print the size, then you can see it will simply give me 5. Okay, as simple as that. So yeah, that's all about this video. I hope this video is informative for you. If you have any doubts, you can definitely ask me in the comment section, and can give me any type of suggestion that I can improve. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.